any asset class, any mutual fund, or any other form of investment, you do not know what the future will bring. Or what you can do is research that subject, that stock, that company, or that asset class very well and build a hypothesis around what could potentially happen over the course of the next 1, 2, 3, and 5 years. I think 5 साल से ज़्यादा देखना तो in the days of Donald Trump becomes a bit difficult. But you can build a hypothesis of what will happen over the next 2, 3, 5 years, and then test that hypothesis as events unfold. Eventually, you might be a minority, but if your hypothesis turns out to be true, then you have a multi-bagger on your hand. And which is where I think most of the successful investors that I have met uh, who go contra when investment opportunities come effectively build out this hypothesis of contrarian investing and then test it as the events unfold for any particular company. I think the one message that I can leave you on this is that don't be afraid of building a hypothesis, which may be very natural, maybe going against the grain, and then test it as events unfold for that particular asset class for the company. The other really important lesson could be that when you are convinced about your investment, back up the truck and buy. Now, what do I mean by this? You know, India's one of India's most famous investors who passed away, unfortunately, was a guy called anybody? Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Exactly. So when Rakesh passed away, I happened to do a show with one of his closest friends and a very well-known investor, Ramesh Damani. And he said a line which has stood by me almost every single day for the last 3 or 4 years. Ramesh said that when he got mud, okay, quote unquote, quote, when he got mud, he fashioned it into jars. When we got mud or soil, we fashioned it into spoons and cups. Now, this might be confusing, but what Ramesh was trying to say that when an opportunity presented itself, what we would do, and Ramesh was talking about himself as well, that what we would do is effectively take smaller bets into that opportunity, no matter how convinced we were. But what Rakesh would do is effectively back up the truck and bar, which means that if he was convinced about an opportunity, he would go out and really place large sums of money on that opportunity. As a result of which, when the bet pays off, you don't make an incremental 1-2% on your portfolio. You really make a portfolio changing investment. Now, the caveat to this is only this that not everybody can back up the truck and bar, because if you've identified an opportunity, you may still be wrong there. So it's only experience which will teach you that this is the right opportunity, and presented with 4 or 5, you would know that between 1 and 5, it is number 3 or number 2 where I have to back up the truck and really go out and make a large investment and then hope for it to pay off, or rather work for it to pay off. And when it does pay off, it is a portfolio changing investment. I think as an investor, she or he graduates in her or his investing life cycle, the investor will realize that, or will know what her strengths and weaknesses are, which sectors or which themes or which asset classes is she or he able to analyze better, and then will get a sense of when is it that I should actually make a very large investment into this particular asset class or a particular stock, as the case may be. One of the most simplest things that I think some of you could relate to as well, and that's one more investing lesson that um, I have actually developed for myself as well over a period of years. And it is very simple. An idiot with a plan can beat a genius without a plan. Now, I'll tell you what I mean by this. I'm born in a Gujarati family, and all through my formative years, I have met Gujaratis and Marwadis, people who love money, right? These guys are known for loving money. And all through my formative years, when I spoke to uncles, my dad, the talks were always about business. But more importantly, there is one thing that I realized that whenever there was my birthday, or there was Diwali and you go and do Peripona to all of those guys, they would come back and give you a silver coin. Every month, I've seen my dad, when there are excess profits that happen in the business, he would park some bit of that money every month and invest. It could be in a fixed deposit, it could be in an insurance policy, it could be in gold, it could be in silver. Now, I'm not saying that those are the right modes of investment, but the thing was about the plan. It was a systematic effort to go out and park money every month with the excess money that was there. And there was a method to this madness. There was a plan that he had in place. As a result of which, my father and all his friends who are his age and have been doing this for so many years, currently in the swan song of their life, don't really have to depend or worry about where the next stash of money will come from, because their investments that they've done so systematically over years are paying out for them. I know the word SIP in India is now a very, I wouldn't say an abused term, but such a well-known term that people think that it's very boring. But if you think about it, that simple systematic investment plan is such a powerful tool because there is a plan to it. And believe you me, if you actually plan your investments well, and if you have a plan in place, at the end of 20, 30, 40 years of your life, when you're actually evaluating your investments, you may make some bad investments as well systematically, but more often than not, it will pay you rich dividends over a period of time. So please remember, uh, at whatever stage of life you are in your investment career as well, make a plan and then try and stick to it. I think it will help you tremendously. I think a lot of you would know about this, but I'll still enumerate it. Uh, all of us would believe that our retirement age is constant, but our lifespan is going to increase with the advancement in medicine, which means what? That your earning age is smaller, but the number of years that your capital will have to spend for yourself is much longer, because you will retire at 60 for sure. But if you're passing off at 90 instead of 80, your capital will have to spend for you for the next 30 years. And therefore, the simplest thing to do is to start investing early, simply because the power of compounding will work for you. So I urge everybody who is young, and a lot of young audience in the hall right now, is to start investing early, because that's where the magic of compounding will hold you in good stead over the course of the next 10, 20, or 30 years, again, as the case may be. And last but not the least, possibly the most important lesson is to stick to your circle of competence. I can't stress on this enough. I think a lot of people make a mistake that if they hear somebody making money in Bitcoin or crypto, even if they have no knowledge of it, they'll go out and park some money there. A neighbor is given a tip about a sector or a stock which they don't know anything about. They go out and invest money there. There is a fundamental problem with this, because you are essentially not sticking to your circle of competence, but going beyond it. And that is where you make a mistake. And believe you me, while you might start on small steps right now, eventually at some point of time, if you go beyond your circle of competence and invest large sums of money into something that you don't even know anything about, and if that investment were to go south or southwards, you will not know what to do with it, whether you can double up and buy more of it at a lower level because you don't know anything about that investment and you don't have the competence to do it. Instead of that, if you don't fancy chasing the newest fad in the world and stick to your circle of competence, your ability to make money, if not in the first 5 years, then the next 10 years or the next 15 years, is going to be strong. So I can't emphasize more than this, that stick to your circle of competence. And above all, the final thing, please read. I know it's become uh, a hobby that not too many people have, because watching is the in thing and reading is not. But reading more and reading across spheres would actually help you generate great investment logic for yourself, for the current times, as well as for the future. So I hope some of these lessons help you as you embark on your investing journey. Thank you so much.